Hello everyone, Evil Pinely Summer. Today, we're gonna talk about something that I've been thinking about a lot. YouTuber movies. In YouTube's early 2010s era, there started being this sort of like phenomenon. A lot of money was starting to flow towards YouTube. Big companies started to realize the profit potential that YouTube holds, and they were like, let's just throw money in here. Let's go ahead and do that. As part of that, we got some of Smosh's biggest videos. If you remember, how many fools can I kill today? Too many to count, don't get in my way. And through that, we also started to get the beginning of YouTuber movies. The YouTuber film industries, you know? Now, YouTuber movies as a concept seemed quite exciting to me. I was quite young at the time, but part of the reason I found YouTube exciting was the fact that I saw it connected to filmmaking, right? Here you have people creating worlds and universes in their bedrooms. Let's see what they can do on the big screen. But what we got in actuality was some of the worst things I've ever seen. I mean, I watch a lot of like Shane Dawson's movies for videos in the past. I literally did a video where I watched every single one that he's in, and me. I sort of decided a few years ago that I'm not going to talk about Shane Dawson anymore, but Not Cool is such a disgusting movie. And like, is it its corporateness that makes it that? Maybe a little bit, but like Shane Dawson like directed it. And the movie is very tied to sort of his sense of humor at the time. I also watch all of his short films. I don't know why I did that. It's my fault really, but like, Smosh movie as well, right? It took some of their sense of humor, some of that, but we're like, well, it's a movie now. So let's make it this hyper polished, hyper sort of nothing kind of thing. Their second movie, with something with a ghost. Let's have the poster here for their second movie. Something with a ghost. Ghostmates? Is that the name of the movie? Even worse, even more detached from their sort of sense of humor and sensibilities. They talked about it themselves, that this was just kind of something that they were guided through, right? They were convinced that this sort of filmmaking is like actual filmmaking, and they should just like listen to, you know, what the sort of big shot producers have to say. And I think those movies are a big part of what has given us that sort of negative stigma about YouTuber movies. These like corporate, directionless pieces of nothing that just happened because like a YouTuber has suddenly gained popularity, you know? Logan Paul's airplane movie. What's that one? Airplane Mode. I haven't seen that one. But guess what? I'm never gonna see it. And I can't lie, for a while, as someone who, you know, was inspired by what I saw as the connection between YouTube video making and filmmaking, this did discourage me in a way. But more recently, I've seen some examples that have made me feel a bit different. 2 years ago, I think, I was at VidCon. I went to an early screening of the movie Talk to Me by the Rocka Rocka channel. I don't know if they go by the Filippo twins. I think that's their last name. It was great, man. What a unsettling movie. I was such a coward while watching that thing. I was like this the whole movie. I'm there next to a bunch of YouTubers being a little, oh, is this screen gonna get me? Afterwards, they did a Q&A and talked about the process of making this movie. And something that really like stood out to me is that connection between YouTube and filmmaking on multiple angles. The first one being, you can see how they're like, you know, action infused, like silly little videos, how much they have like, how infused they are into the core of this movie. The horror comes from the action. It's really, really cool. It feels different from, you know, some of the other horror movies that I've seen in the past. YouTube in many ways ended up serving as their like free sort of playground to play around with stuff and then implement it in another way. And another bit that I found interesting was them talking about like some of the investors in the movie were insisting on having like a well-known name as the lead for the film. Now they've already found Sophie Wilde for this movie via auditions, and were pretty much insistent on keeping her. So insistent that when the investors said, if you're gonna keep her, if you're not gonna get a name for this movie, we are going to pull like, I don't know, $1 million or $2 million or whatever from the budget of this film. A pretty big chunk off of this movie's $4 million budget. But no, they insisted on it. They stood their ground. And I think a lot of that, on some level, like that's a rare thing that you would see for a, first-time feature filmmaker. I think a lot of that comes from this sort of, I guess, like freedom that you're used to having on YouTube. You're not used to like having a boss here. You're used to just being able to do exactly what you want. And I think that stubbornness really, really positively affected this film. But okay, this movie is a $4 million movie. It's, not a huge budget compared to, I don't know, any Marvel thing. But it's still an insanely substantial amount. So what about in the more like, feasible end of things? Well, recently, I've been like, if you see my Letterboxd page, I've been like really getting into Joel Haver movies. Joel Haver, if you don't know, is mainly well known for these like EB synth animations that he does, these like skits and whatnot. I've been watching his videos on YouTube for a while, and frankly, like recently, I met him when I was in LA, and we talked about movies and stuff, and I was like, well, I know that he did this project where he like made 12 films in 12 months. Maybe I should check like one of them out. And fully candidly, I came into this not expecting a lot. There are multiple preconceived notions that I've had. First of all, how can you make 12 good feature films in 12 months? I don't think that's a possibility. Off of doing like the music videos and stuff like that, I know how expensive things can get. So to me, I was like, I came into this like an idiot, being like, well, I don't know, if you don't put like money into that stuff, obviously you can still make a good thing, but it's a whole lot harder. Well, I'm gonna say I loved like every single one that I saw. I didn't see all of them. I still have more to go. I'll talk about a few of them. Okay, Anyone Else But Me. What a great movie. Just this great interweaving story about people, using their art in a way to try to figure themselves out, but also sort of as an excuse to be like a piece of shit. The main synopsis, I guess, would be there's this guy who goes to an acting class, and really on the deeper level, I mean, the name of the movie kind of gives us that idea. This is a person who is deeply uncomfortable with themselves. He goes to this acting class and he uses one of those exercises that they give him during dates. He goes on a date and he pretends to be another person. Out of that deep, self-resentment, he creates this like incredible character, this very rich man who some fucking great lines in this. I'm just gonna play it. It's so funny. Oh wait, I forgot to say, he pretends to be rich and then he goes on one date with someone and then a girl gets kidnapped. The person he went on a date with, because they think that he's rich, so they're trying to ransom him. That's a really good synopsis.
Hey Samantha. Hey Samantha, it's Dustin. Hey Samantha, it's Dustin. Hey Samantha. Hey Samantha, it's Dustin. Just hopped off a really big call. Looks like the investments went through. $5 million, the one I was talking your ear off about. How's that feel to know a millionaire that just became a millionaire 5 times in the past 5 minutes? Anyway, want to go on a really, really nice date tonight? I'll pencil you into my schedule.
Shut the up. This isn't Samantha.
Who?
It's really good. The whole thing is filmed with these great lines and moments and stuff like that. And guess what? Here's another thing that made me a bit skeptical before going into this. This movie is largely, mainly improvised. Joel and his actors go onto a scene and he gives them the room to build where the story goes, to build a sort of arc in a way. So I really recommend that one. I'll say more than that, I really loved, what's the name of that one? It Just Takes Time. Jesus, man. I won't say much about this movie. It's mainly a movie that carries a feeling in a way. It carries a very heavy feeling, that feeling of a person missing, You're kind of following these characters around in these very candid moments. And yeah, it's mainly about a person's not there anymore. And they don't say it outright straight out of the gate, but you do just feel it. It's not really a spoiler. I wouldn't say this is a movie you really can give a spoiler to. And yeah, you just kind of live with these people as they go through that, as they process that in a way, and you feel that like person-shaped hole. My favorite one though might just be the text. The text stars Dax Flame, a guy who I really like. He's a great actor, man. He's so good in this movie. Everyone is, really. It's a one-shot, like an actual one-shot, nothing stitched or anything like that, and they filmed the whole thing entirely during the Oscars. Joel does an incredible job putting you in that exact feeling of waking up after a party. You know, you feel the yuckiness of it all, just waking up in the afternoon. I've never done that, by the way. I always, if I go at a party and I stop partying at 4 a.m., my body will wake me up at 8. But seeing my friends wake up in the afternoon, kind of walking around like zombies, just like sort of thing. It's a very funny, stressful, and somber movie at the same time. Basically, like, Dax's character sends over a drunk, not that drunk, of a text the day before, and you see him in the group tackle that. But you feel this tension between everyone. What sort of history do these people have? They sort of feel like a sort of high school friend group that has kind of stayed because they've known each other for too long, but like, maybe they're not supposed to be friends anymore. The one-shot thing does not feel like a gimmick on any level. It feels like absolutely necessary for this film. You need to stay in this 40-something minute long stretch. The film begins with this beautiful piano music coming from the actual movie. It's actually being played within it. And while it stops playing quite early on in this movie, it sort of lingers in the air. It sets the tone so well for this movie. There's some great lines in this. I'll show you the Question City one.
What is this? Are you driving a car into Question City expecting me to have the answers? Are you driving your question car into Answer City expecting me to be the mayor and have the answers?
What?
I'm just messing around.
What does that mean?
I love that. Dax is truly phenomenal in this. You realize through, the story that he has done something quite bad the other day, the text that he has sent, but that contrasts so incredibly well with the character that he plays here. He's like the amount of empathy that you feel for him throughout this movie is just great, man. I think on some level this film is about these sort of things that you may feel horrible about, feel guilty about, and kind of how you face them in a way, how you face them in front of a new partner in a way. Are they going to judge you as harshly as you judge yourself, or are you going to be accepted? And it's also, to me, it feels like it's about exploring these sort of tensions that we have when it comes to people that we've known for ages. These people seem so familiar to each other, but also like strangers, Again, you feel this sort of drift of a relationship that has lasted for maybe a bit too long. That is all to say, I need to watch more people who just make a movie and release it on YouTube, These 12 feature films have been made in a budget range starting from $0. I think this one, The Text, was made for maybe a little over $1,000, renting out the place and then, paying for food and stuff like that, to over $10K for the Diarrhea Brothers Save the Day, a movie that I still haven't seen, but I am very, very much intrigued by its title. They are real, they are human, and you know what? This has opened up stuff for me. I'm sure there are filmmakers that are posting their feature films on YouTube that I would really enjoy if I checked out. So I'm gonna do that. If you have any specific recommendations, let me know. I think this is a really cool forgotten part about YouTube. The fact that we have a platform here to make a movie and just release it. And it's not just about how much money was put in it. It's not just about, the wider recognition that it gets. Joel is a person who very much dismisses those things. I'll say that maybe I still have room to grow. I still care about that stuff. I can't say that that I wouldn't like to make a movie with a little bit of money behind it. I saw Joel address the fact that in some of these the actors who are his friends do not get paid. And to that I say, guys, like, this is clearly, like, these movies probably make about $400. Like, you know, looking at the views and stuff like that, I've noticed they don't have mid-rolls. They probably make around $400, and almost every single one of them costs a little bit more than that to make. These are not done as a job. There is a level of making things that is done for the fun of it. For the fun of it, for the director, the actors are doing it because they genuinely want to have fun and act and stuff. When I draw something at home, that's not done for profit, right? You don't expect that to be done for profit when I'm just sitting at home doodling stuff. I'm not selling it to anyone. And these movies aren't being sold to anyone. I think I'm going to continue on my path and dig a little deeper to find more films that are just being done for the fun of the actual action of making them. There's something so genuine here. There's something so loving in the creation of these movies. You genuinely feel the love. He's made 12 movies in 12 months, and you feel the heart of it. You know, the heart of the actual action of making them. I find that really inspiring, and it has genuinely affected, in definitely a positive way, the way that I see filmmaking. And again, what it should be. If you can do other art forms for fun, why shouldn't this be a part of that, you know? So that's me rambling a little bit for today. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know. I wanted to talk about something that I've enjoyed. I've been really enjoying these. I've been like putting them on at the end of the day, and I've been really loving it, you know? So thank you for watching. Subscribe all the time. Subscribe all the time and like all the time for ba-ba-da-ba-ba.